Hey there, writers. In this video, I was wanting to talk about my writing plans for next year. So it's that time of year when we're looking back at the previous year and looking forward to the new year and making all kinds of plans and resolutions as to what we're going to do. And it's a time of year which I really enjoy, although I think it is very important not to get too carried away with the whole new year, new you thing, because at the end of the day, January the 1st is just another day. But I think it's definitely a good idea to take some time to evaluate and think about what we actually want to be doing with our time, because our time is our most precious commodity. So this video is part of a collaboration with some of my other writer friends. There's going to be a whole playlist of videos for you to watch, and I will make sure that I pop a link to that down in the description below. I really love watching videos like this because it can inspire me and just make me think a little bit outside the box of what I could be aiming for with my own writing, but also I think we're all naturally nosy and we love to know what other people get up to, what their plans are, what they actually achieve. And as writers, you know, writing can be a little bit of a lonely business. So I think it's just really nice to know what other people's expectations, I guess, are of what they're going to be able to do in the next year. So my last video was about how I published 8 books in 2 years. Again, I will make sure that I pop a link to that video down in the description below. And the point that I was making in that video is that I'm not some kind of superwoman who can just write a book kind of every couple of months and get it published. It's actually, if you look into the publishing process of all those books, the actual writing as well as the editing and everything of them took much longer than that. And the point that I was trying to make is that sometimes we can look at other people and what they've achieved. It can come across that what they've done has either been easier than you would have thought that it would be, or that they've done it faster than you would have thought possible. And then maybe we can feel bad because we're not able to achieve the same things. So yeah, with that video, I was just kind of wanting to highlight that sometimes we hear these amazing things that people do, and yes, they're amazing, but if you actually look into them, it's not that it isn't something that we can it's not that it's not something that we can't actually achieve ourselves. There's nothing special about them that means that they're able to do so much more. Maybe it's something to do with time management system, or maybe it's just the way that it's shown, like in the way that I showed that I published 8 books in 2 years, and I'm beginning to ramble now. Anyway, my youngest son made me a cup of tea, which was very kind of him because I've been really busy today because my oldest 2 boys are going to be coming back from university for Christmas very soon. And the house is a tip because obviously when you do NaNoWriMo like crazy for a month and Christmas is then coming up, you decide that you're going to do like a major sort out and deal with thousands of books and other things. Yeah, so I've been trying to deal with that, and it's all very exciting, but I also needed to sit down and chat to you guys about next year. So next year, my writing plans. Right, so speaking of NaNoWriMo, I completed the first draft of a new contemporary romance during this year's NaNoWriMo, which I was so pleased with. I wrote over 57,000 words, which is the most that I've ever written in 30 days. So that was fantastic, and it was a complete first draft. So my first writing plan for the year is to get that manuscript gone through a second time, a third time, and then get it off, hopefully for publication. And that is going to be the first part in a series of books set in a fictional Welsh seaside town. So the second part of my writing plan is to begin kind of fleshing out the other stories in that series. As I was writing the book, I did begin to think about the other characters and those characters that are going to have their own book and kind of what's going to happen with them and things like that. And that was a really fun part of writing that book. But I just want to kind of get more notes down about that so that I know where I'm going with it and potentially begin writing the second book in the series next year. I do, however, have some ideas for some more Christmas books. So I have had Christmas books out the last 2 years, and they've been really, really fun to write, and they've been very well received. So I didn't really want to come up with new ideas for more stories while I was working on this series, but the brain does what it does. What can you do? And I'm really liking how they're kind of forming in the old noggin. They're kind of coming together, and I think they'll be a lot of fun to write. So I need to decide what I'm going to prioritize, I guess, whether I want to finish the book that I'm working on at the moment and then write a Christmas book, or whether I want to work through the series that I'm doing and then focus on Christmas books. I'm not really decided yet. If you have watched other videos on this channel and been around for a while, you will know that I am also writing a Regency romance, which it's been a roller coaster ride, people, a roller coaster ride. Let me tell you, writing historical romance is not easy. It is not. But I'm hoping that I have turned a corner with that and that I will be able to complete the first draft. That is definitely something that is being done in 2025. I cannot not have finished that draft in 2025. This is getting ridiculous. So that's like a major one that I want to achieve. Hopefully I would get further than just finishing the first draft, but I think if I say definitely first draft, then that is absolutely doable. The other thing that I'm debating doing is that I have had another idea for a non-fiction book for writers. I have a series of non-fiction books for writers that are available. There's one about winning NaNoWriMo, there's one about using Twitter or X, and then there's one about author branding. And I've had another idea for a book in that series, but it is a bigger one, so it will be quite a commitment. So I'm not sure about that. That won't be my priority because purely because those books, as much as I love doing them, they are self-published. And so obviously that's a lot more work for me in terms of marketing, which I just might not have the time to do. Whereas my romances, they are traditionally published, so all the marketing is taken out of my hands, which I love. So I'll just kind of have to see how I feel. I think if I can get my romance that I was writing for NaNoWriMo finished and out of the way, then I'll be able to see what I want to work on next and make more of a plan for the rest of the year. But in general for my writing, although I'm not completely sure how many of those projects I'll do, which ones I'll work on. I know which one I'm going to start with, and I know that I need to finish the Regency draft. That's definite. But the other ones, it's a little bit up in the air the way that I'll do them. But my priority is going to be that when I am writing, I want to be able to be more focused with it, and also to be able to prioritize my writing in my work life. So looking at the focus first, what I found when I was writing for NaNoWriMo was I was attempting to get in 2,000 words a day, which, you know, is a lot to write, but it is not a massive word count. You know, we're not talking 10,000 word days or anything. It was taking me hours and hours and hours, and it was becoming a bit of a pain because it was just taking up so much of the day when, I've got other things to do as well. And part of the problem was that I was procrastinating and I was messing around on Instagram and stuff like that. So I want to be able to work on becoming more focused when I am working, so that it'll be easier to write because I'm kind of more in the zone, but also so that when I'm doing something like NaNoWriMo, the amount of time that I am spending writing is condensed because I have so many other things to do with my time. So two books which I'm hoping will help with that, which I want to work through next year, are The Artist Way, which so many people have recommended to me. And I am so cross with myself that I haven't read and worked my way through this. So that's something that I'm going to be doing in January, I hope. And the other thing is the 12-week year for writers. So I believe I got this for my birthday. I've read the original 12-week year book and I found that really useful. And so I wanted to read the one for writers, but I got it and I kind of read the introduction and I was a little bit disappointed because this is going to sound really, really stupid because obviously somebody wrote this book. The author of the book isn't a writer, as in that's not what they do primarily. They're not trying to write so many books a year. So I was kind of like, okay, so I get that you get like time management and things like that, but you know, the creative process is it's a thing and it needs to be taken into account with, you know, all these time management strategies and things like that. So I'll read it and I'll see what I think. And I'm just hoping that it will help me to be a little more organized with my writing time, I guess is really what I'm wanting to do. And then, like I say, prioritizing my writing. So I have a lot of hats. I've got a lot of little side hustles because, you know, as writers, our income is not stable. It can go up and down all the time. And so in able to make sure that I have a certain amount coming in, I do lots of different things so that I have many different income sources. And writing is what I love, and it is my biggest income source, and it's what ultimately what I want to do. And while I love the other things that I do, like book coaching and teaching a creative writing class, and I do developmental editing and all kinds of other things, I definitely want those to remain side hustles and for me to be focused on writing. And I feel that last year I didn't really achieve that balance until November and NaNoWriMo, when I just drove myself insane because the writing was taking so long and I felt that I was wasting a lot of time. So yeah, basically I need to sort myself out. I need to sort out the mental game and make sure that when I'm writing, that is what I'm doing, that's what I'm concentrating on, and then I can put it away and I can do all the other things. So I really, really hope that this has been interesting for you. Please make sure that you check out all the other videos in the collaboration. There are some absolutely fantastic authors who've taken part in this. And I would love to know what your plans are for next year. Do you have definite plans, or are you just going to go with the flow? Because we love that too. And I will catch you in the next one.